Admiral Thelnock stood on the bridge of his flagship, staring at the holographic display that floated before him. The massive screen showed a region of space that troubled him deeply. It was a sphere 50 light-years across, and it was completely silent. Nothing. His communications officer reported. No subspace signals, no quantum transmissions, no faster-than-light activity at all. Thelnox's scaled hand tightened on the railing. The Corvathian Dominion had ruled 200 star systems for 3,000 years. They were the greatest civilization in the galaxy. They had never encountered a mystery like this. Science Officer Mira S. approached him carefully. She carried a data tablet, and her face showed concern. "Admiral, I have reviewed the old records. This region was not always silent." "Explain," Thelnox commanded. 800 years ago, the precursors explored this area. They had 500 worlds and the most advanced technology we ever discovered. They sent expeditions into this zone. She paused. They never came back. All contact ceased within 2 years. Thelnox waved a hand dismissively. The precursors were weak. They fell to some natural disaster, perhaps. Sir, they were not alone. Mira S. pulled up more data. The Harmony Collective entered this region 600 years ago. 30 worlds, peaceful traders. They vanished. The Velcarian Empire came 300 years ago. 100 worlds, legendary warriors, gone. 6 other civilizations attempted exploration. All disappeared. The bridge fell silent. Every officer stared at the display. What could destroy so many civilizations? Someone whispered. Thelnox straightened his uniform. Fear was not acceptable for a Corvathian leader. We are not them. We are stronger. The High Command has ordered us to investigate, and we will obey. Prepare the fleet. The Pride of Corvath led 47 warships toward the boundary. Each vessel carried weapons that could destroy planets. The Corvathians had conquered every enemy they ever faced. This would be no different. As they crossed into the silent zone, the instruments changed. The subspace that allowed faster-than-light travel felt different here, thicker somehow. But it still worked. "Sir, I am detecting something," the sensor officer announced. "Electromagnetic radiation. Radio waves." Mira S. looked surprised. "Radio waves? That is ancient technology. No advanced civilization uses that anymore." "Source?" Thelnox asked. "A yellow star, sir. 3rd planet from the sun. The signals are coming from there and several nearby systems." The fleet changed course. Days passed as they approached. The radio signals became clearer. They heard sounds, voices speaking in an unknown language. They saw images transmitted through space. Pictures of bipedal creatures with smooth skin and strange clothing. What primitive species is this? Thelnox wondered aloud. Mira S. studied the transmissions carefully. "They call themselves humans, sir. They appear to be carbon-based, similar to us in some ways, but their technology seems very basic. These radio transmissions are at least 50 years old, traveling at light speed. Then they have no faster-than-light communication," another officer said. "They cannot even send messages properly." Laughter rippled through the bridge. A species without FTL communication was barely worth noticing. The fleet approached the 3rd planet, which the humans called Earth. But as they drew closer, something unexpected appeared on the sensors. "Sir," the sensor officer said, voice uncertain, "I am detecting ships. Thousands of ships, and impossible," Thelnox said. "Show me." The display zoomed out. All around them, in every direction, small vessels moved through space. They were crude compared to Corvathian ships, but they were everywhere. Around Earth, around the Moon, around Mars, around asteroids and space stations. The entire inner system swarmed with activity. "How many?" Thelnox demanded. "Counting now, sir. At least 15,000 vessels in this system alone. And sir, I am detecting more in nearby systems. Many more." Mira S. felt something cold settle in her stomach. A primitive species with thousands of ships? It did not match any pattern they knew. "Open a channel," Thelnox ordered. "Let us speak with these humans." The communication took hours to establish. The humans seemed excited to receive contact. They responded quickly, their translators working to decode Corvathian language. Finally, an image appeared on the screen. A human stood before them. It had brown skin, dark hair, and wore a simple uniform. It smiled, showing white teeth. "Greetings," the human said in broken Corvathian. "I am Ambassador Chen of the United Earth Systems. Welcome to our space. We have been hoping to meet others among the stars." Thelnox studied the creature. It looked weak, soft. No claws, no natural armor, no obvious weapons. "You say our space." Thelnock said. This is bold. How many worlds do you control? The human's smile widened. We have colonies in 147 star systems. About 20,000 worlds, moons, and habitats. We have been expanding for the last 300 years. The bridge erupted in shock. 20,000 settlements? From a species using radio waves? Impossible. Thelnox breathed. Ambassador Chen tilted their head. I understand your surprise. We reproduce quickly and adapt easily. We build habitats where others see nothing but rock and ice. The human paused. Tell me, Admiral, have you come looking for something? Perhaps for those who came before you? Thelnox felt his blood run cold. What do you know of them? Oh, we met them, Chen said casually. All of them. The precursors, the Harmony Collective, the Valkyrians. We remember them all. Where are they? Miras asked, stepping forward. The human's smile faded. The expression that replaced it was unreadable. They made a mistake, Chen said quietly. They made the same mistake you are making right now. The transmission ended abruptly. Thelnox stared at the empty screen, feeling something he had not felt in many years. Fear. 3 days had passed since the first transmission ended. The Corvathian fleet held position at the edge of the human system, and Thelnox had demanded a formal meeting. The humans agreed immediately, perhaps too immediately. Ambassador Chen arrived in a small shuttle accompanied by 2 other humans. The Corvathians had expected fear or nervousness, but the 3 humans walked into the conference room with calm confidence. They looked around with obvious curiosity, examining everything like children in a museum. Your ship is beautiful, Chen said, touching a wall panel. The metal is amazing. We would love to learn how you make this. Thelnox sat at the head of the table. His officers flanked him on both sides, making an intimidating display of military power. We are not here to share technology. We are here to establish terms. Chen nodded and sat down. The other 2 humans did the same. They did not seem bothered by the aggressive posture. Terms? Chen asked. Yes. The Corvathian Dominion claims this region of space. You will acknowledge our authority. You will provide tribute, resources, and obedience. In exchange, we will allow you to exist under our protection. Mira S. watched the humans carefully. She had studied hundreds of first contact scenarios. Usually, primitive species showed fear when faced with superior military force. These humans showed nothing. Their faces remained friendly, almost pleasant. Chen folded their hands on the table. I appreciate the offer, Admiral, but we must decline. The Corvathian officers gasped. Thelnox's eyes widened in disbelief. You decline? He repeated. Yes, we prefer independence. However, we would be happy to establish trade relations, cultural exchanges, and mutual cooperation. We believe equal partnerships benefit everyone. Thelnox stood up abruptly. You do not understand your position. We have 47 warships. Each one can destroy your entire planet. You have no faster-than-light drives, no energy shields, no advanced weapons. You are primitives playing with rockets. Chen smiled again, that strange human expression that showed teeth. We understand perfectly, Admiral. We simply disagree with your proposal. This is not a proposal, Thelnox growled. This is how the galaxy works. The strong command, the weak obey. One of the other humans, a woman with red hair, spoke up. We tried that system on our world once. It did not work well. We learned better ways. Mira S. leaned forward. Ambassador Chen, please understand. The Admiral is serious. Refusing the Dominion leads to consequences. Military consequences. Chen's expression finally changed. The smile disappeared, replaced by something harder. Officer Mira S., is it? I appreciate your concern, but let me be clear. We have faced consequences before. We survived them. We will survive again. Bold words from a weak species, Thelnox said. Perhaps, Chen admitted. But may I ask a question? What mistake did you think we were making? What? In our first conversation, I said the others made a mistake. The same one you are making. Do you want to know what that mistake was? Thelnox sat back down slowly. Tell me. They underestimated us, Chen said simply. They looked at our technology and saw primitives. They looked at our bodies and saw weakness. They looked at our ships and saw toys. Then they attacked, thinking victory would be easy. Chen paused. It was not easy. The red-haired woman pulled out a data device. Would you like to see our historical records? We kept everything. The wars, the battles, the outcomes. Wars? Mira S. asked quietly. Oh yes, Chen said. The precursors came first 800 years ago. They wanted our resources and viewed us as pests to be eliminated. The war lasted 60 years. We lost 4 billion people. Every major city on Earth was bombed from orbit. We nearly went extinct. Chen's voice remained calm, factual. We won anyway. Impossible, Thelnox said. The precursors had technology beyond anything you possess. They did, the third human agreed. So we adapted. We learned. We stole their technology when we could, reverse engineered it, improved it. We built more ships than they could destroy. We sent soldiers who would never surrender. We turned every rock into a weapon. Eventually they ran out of ships. We did not, the red-haired woman continued. The Harmony Collective came next 600 years ago. They wanted to enslave our colonies. That war only lasted 30 years. We learned faster the second time. And the Velkarians? Mira S. whispered. Ah, the warriors, Chen said with something like respect. They lasted the longest. 90 years of war. They were magnificent fighters. Much better than us individually. But we are 7 trillion humans now, spread across hundreds of systems. They were 100 billion. They could not replace their losses. We could. Thelnox felt his confidence cracking. 7 trillion? And growing, Chen confirmed. We reproduce quickly, Admiral. We live anywhere. Frozen moons, burning deserts, toxic atmospheres. We build underground, underwater, in the clouds, in artificial habitats. Give us a rock and some ice, and we will build a city. Mira S. began tapping on her tablet, running calculations. The numbers terrified her. If the humans truly numbered in the trillions, if they truly occupied thousands of worlds. You are bluffing, Thelnox declared. You seek to frighten us with lies. Chen stood up. Admiral, open your sensors. Look at this system. Count the ships. Count the habitats. Count the settlements on every moon and asteroid. Then look at the next system, and the next, and the next. Chen walked to the window, gazing out at space. We are not hiding. We are everywhere. We have always been everywhere. You just did not look carefully enough. The meeting ended shortly after. The humans departed peacefully, still friendly, still calm. But as their shuttle left, Thelnox ordered a full sensor sweep of nearby systems. The reports came back within hours. Chen had not lied. Every system showed massive human activity. Ships by the thousands, stations by the hundreds, settlements carved into every possible location. The humans had built an empire not through conquest, but through sheer relentless expansion. Admiral, Mira said carefully, I recommend we withdraw and report to High Command. This situation requires consideration. Thelnox's pride would not allow retreat. No, they are primitives hiding behind numbers. We will demonstrate proper military power. He ordered the destruction of an uninhabited asteroid station. Just a mining facility with no people. The weapons fired and the station vaporized in a ball of plasma. Within 2 hours, every human civilian within 10 light years had been evacuated. Millions of people moved with practiced efficiency, as if they had done this many times before. Mira S. watched the evacuation on her screens. They had protocols, detailed, efficient protocols. The humans had prepared for this. They had prepared for war. And in the distance, more human ships were arriving. Hundreds of them, then thousands, moving into formation with calm precision. They did not run. They did not panic. They simply waited. The first battle happened near a small human colony on a frozen moon. Thelnox sent 3 warships to force submission. The humans sent 12 ships to defend it. The Corvathian ships had better weapons, better shields, better technology in every way. The battle lasted only 30 minutes. All 12 human ships were destroyed. The Corvathians lost nothing. Thelnox felt vindicated. You see, their numbers mean nothing against superior force. But Mira S. noticed something strange. Sir, where did they get 12 ships so quickly? This colony only had 2 defenders yesterday. They moved ships from other locations, an officer suggested. Yes, but from where? Mira S. pulled up the sensor logs. And look at this. 10 new human ships just arrived at the colony we attacked. They replaced their losses in hours. The second battle happened 3 days later. This time the humans sent 24 ships. The Corvathians destroyed them all again, but 1 Corvathian ship took heavy damage. The third battle happened the next day. The humans sent 48 ships. Mira S. saw the pattern immediately. Admiral, they are doubling their forces each time. They are learning from each engagement and adapting. Let them come, Thelnox said. We will destroy however many they send. But the battles continued day after day and the numbers kept growing. The humans never stopped. For every ship destroyed, 2 more appeared. The Corvathian fleet began taking more damage, losing more ships. Small losses at first, but they added up. Mira S. spent her night studying the humans. She accessed their communication networks, which were surprisingly easy to penetrate. The humans seemed unconcerned with security, or perhaps they wanted others to see. What she found horrified her. The human population was not millions, not billions. 7 trillion, just as Chen had said. More than the entire Corvathian dominion by a factor of 10. They lived on 20,000 worlds, moons, asteroids, and artificial habitats. Every possible location that could support life held humans. She found their history files, their stories, their data. Earth, their home world, was a nightmare. Extreme temperatures, violent weather, poisonous creatures, deadly diseases. Humanity had evolved fighting everything. Fighting nature, fighting animals, fighting each other. They had spent 200,000 years learning to survive impossible conditions. Then they had reached space and brought that survival instinct with them. She discovered the wars. The precursors had attacked with overwhelming force, bombing Earth from orbit, destroying cities. The humans had fought back with nuclear weapons, with kinetic projectiles, with anything they could launch into space. They had lost billions, but they had kept fighting. They had stolen precursor technology from wreckage, learned from it, improved it. 60 years of war had ended with precursor extinction. The Harmony Collective had tried economic warfare, blocking human trade, enslaving colonies. The humans had simply ignored the blockade, built more ships, and kept expanding. When the collective tried military force, humanity had responded with total war. 30 years later, the collective surrendered. Half their population had been lost. The Velcarian Empire had lasted longest because they understood warfare. But they had made the same mistake. They had calculated losses, determined acceptable casualties, planned for a traditional war. They had not understood that humans did not accept casualties the same way. A Velcarian warrior would fight until honor demanded retreat. A human would fight until dead, and then their children would continue fighting. 90 years of attrition had broken the empire. Mira S. found something else in the human networks. Strategy documents, military planning files, simulation results. The humans had known the Corvathians were coming. They had detected the fleet weeks ago. They had run thousands of simulations, predicted every possible Corvathian tactic, and prepared responses. This was not a first contact. This was a prepared defense. She brought her findings to Thelnox, but he refused to listen. Numbers do not win wars, he insisted. Discipline wins. Technology wins. We are superior in both. Admiral, please look at this data, Mira S. begged. They have more ships than we do, more resources, more soldiers. They have been preparing for this exact scenario. Every attack we make, they have already planned for. Then we changed tactics, Thelnox said stubbornly. They changed tactics. They tried orbital bombardment. The humans evacuated before the weapons hit. They tried blockades. The humans simply went around using routes the Corvathians had not considered. They tried surprise attacks. The humans somehow knew they were coming and had ambushes ready. The fleet began to suffer serious losses. 5 ships destroyed, then 8, then 12. The battles grew larger and more desperate. Human ships started showing new technology, shields that looked suspiciously like Corvathian designs. They were learning again, adapting captured technology. One battle changed everything. Thelnox led his flagship personally, intending to destroy a major human shipyard. They arrived to find 500 human ships waiting. The battle was brutal. Corvathian ships exploded in bright flashes. Human ships rammed damaged Corvathian vessels, sacrificing themselves to take out larger targets. A small human corvette, its engines damaged and leaking atmosphere, accelerated directly toward Thelnox's flagship. The admiral watched in disbelief as the tiny ship kept coming, pushing its engines beyond safe limits. It will explode before reaching us, an officer said. But it did not explode. It slammed into the flagship's flank at nearly 30% light speed. The impact tore through shields, armor, and 3 decks. Fires erupted throughout the ship. 200 crew died instantly. Thelnox stumbled from his command chair, blood running down his face. Around him, officers struggled to contain the damage. The bridge was chaos. Retreat, he whispered. Then louder, retreat. The Corvathian fleet withdrew, battered and broken. They had lost 15 ships in that battle. The humans had lost 300, but more human ships were already arriving to replace them. As medical staff treated his wounds, Thelnox finally asked the question he had been avoiding. "Myraeus, tell me the truth. Can we win this war?" She looked at her admiral with sad eyes. "No, sir, we cannot. They have more of everything. More people, more ships, more resources, more territory, and most importantly, they have more determination. They will never stop fighting, never surrender, never give up. We can kill 1 billion humans and 6 trillion will remain, angry and seeking revenge. Then what do? We make peace, sir, while we still have a fleet left to take home." But Thelnox's pride would not permit peace, not yet. He had been trained his whole life that Corvathians never retreated, never surrendered, never admitted weakness. So the war continued. And the humans began pushing into Corvathian space, just as they had warned they would. 6 months had passed since the war began. The Corvathian fleet had been reduced to 28 ships, the casualties numbered in the hundreds of thousands. And still the humans kept coming. The war had spread across a dozen star systems. Thelnox tried every strategy, every tactic he had learned in his long military career. Nothing worked. The humans adapted to everything. When the Corvathians used energy weapons, the humans developed better shields. When the Corvathians used kinetic weapons, the humans armored their ships more heavily. When the Corvathians tried cyber warfare, the humans shut down their networks and fought using backup systems that did not rely on computers at all. The most frustrating part was how the humans fought. They did not follow proper military doctrine. They did not respect the rules of engagement. They used every dirty trick, every unconventional method, every weapon they could imagine. Civilian ships became bombs, packed with explosives and rammed into Corvathian vessels. Asteroids were pushed into weapon platforms, accelerated to deadly speeds. Space stations self-destructed when captured, killing boarding parties. Human soldiers fought to the death, never retreating, never surrendering, making every battle a nightmare of close combat and determination. Myraeus documented it all. She had stopped being a military officer and become a witness to something terrible. This was not war as the Corvathians understood it. This was extermination, species survival, existential struggle. The humans had a word for it that she found in their databases: genocide. They had tried to commit it against each other many times in their history. They knew what it looked like, what it felt like, how to fight against it. Every human understood that losing meant extinction, so they fought like extinction was the alternative, because for them, it was. The Corvathian colonies near human space began to suffer. Human ships appeared in their systems not to conquer, but to destroy military targets. Shipyards exploded. Defense platforms were eliminated. Army bases were bombarded from orbit, but the humans were careful. They avoided civilian casualties when possible, focusing only on military infrastructure. It was a message: we can hurt you, but we choose to show mercy. For now, Thelnox received that message clearly. The humans could have killed millions of Corvathian civilians. They chose not to. This restraint was somehow more frightening than brutality would have been. It showed intelligence, strategy, long-term thinking. The humans were not mindless monsters. They were calculated, purposeful, and terrifyingly patient. A transmission arrived one day. Ambassador Chen appeared on screen looking older and more tired than before. "Admiral Thelnox," Chen said, "we have been fighting for 6 months. You have lost over half your fleet. We have lost thousands of ships and millions of lives. This war benefits no one. We are prepared to offer terms for peace." Thelnox wanted to refuse, but Myraeus put a hand on his arm. "Listen to them, sir, please," Chen continued. "Leave our space. Return to your worlds. We will not pursue. We will not seek revenge. We will allow you to depart with honor and dignity. All we ask is that you never attack us again." "And if we refuse?" Thelnox asked. Chen's expression became hard, almost sad. "Then we will come to your space. We will destroy every military installation, every warship, every weapon you possess. We will leave your civilians alone, but we will ensure you can never threaten us again. We have already mapped every Corvathian military facility. We have wargamed this scenario thousands of times. We know exactly how to fight you in your own territory." Another human appeared on the screen wearing a military uniform covered in medals. This was Admiral Zhang, commander of the human forces. "Admiral Thelnox," Zhang said in perfect Corvathian, "I am a soldier like you. I understand honor, duty, and pride, but I also understand reality. You cannot win this war. Your species numbers 30 billion. My number's 7 trillion. You occupy 200 star systems. We occupy thousands of settlements. You have advanced technology. We have learned to copy it. Zhang paused. But most importantly, you fight for glory and conquest. We fight for survival. We will always fight harder than you because we have no choice. Thelnox felt something break inside him.
Why? He whispered.
Why are you like this? Zhang's expression softened. Our world made us this way, Admiral. Earth is a beautiful place, but it is also deadly. Everything there tries to kill you. The weather, the animals, the diseases, even the plants. We evolved as prey animals, weak and slow, with no natural weapons. We survived by being smart, by working together, by refusing to give up no matter how bad things got. Chen added, we almost went extinct dozens of times in our history. Ice ages, supervolcanoes, plagues, famines, wars. We dropped to less than 10,000 individuals once. But we survived. We always survive. That is what we do. That is all we know how to do. And when we reached space, Zhang continued, we brought that survival instinct with us. We colonize worlds that other species would consider impossible. We live in places that should kill us, and we thrive there. Because giving up is not in our nature. Surrender is not in our vocabulary. We would rather die than submit. Thelnox closed his eyes. He understood now. The humans were not cruel. They were not evil. They were simply survivors, shaped by millions of years of fighting against extinction. They could not stop fighting any more than they could stop breathing. The other species that had disappeared had made the same mistake. They had seen the humans as primitives, as easy prey. They had attacked. And the humans had responded the only way they knew how, with absolute commitment to survival. What happened to the others? Thelnox asked quietly. The ones who refused peace? Chen answered. The precursors fought until the end. Their last survivors were scattered, their civilization destroyed. Some integrated into our society, some fled to distant stars. The Harmony Collective surrendered after we demonstrated our ability to strike their homeworld. They were allowed to leave and never contact us again. The Valkyrians were given the same choice. Some chose peace. Others chose death. Chen's voice was heavy with regret. We did not want to destroy them. We tried to warn them, but they would not listen. Admiral Zhang spoke again. Admiral, you have a choice to make. Choose peace, and both our species can prosper. Choose war, and we will do what we must to survive. But know this, we will never stop coming. Never. You can kill 1 billion of us, and 6 trillion will remember. You can destroy 1,000 of our ships, and 10,000 will replace them. You can fight us for 100 years, and we will still be fighting on day 101. The transmission ended. Thelnox sat in silence for a long time. His officers waited, watching their admiral struggle with the greatest decision of his life. Finally, Mira S. spoke. Sir, we should accept their terms. We would be admitting defeat, someone protested. Corvathians do not surrender. No, Mira S. said firmly. We would be choosing survival over pride. That is wisdom, not weakness. Thelnox looked at his science officer. She had been right about everything. Every warning, every prediction, every analysis. He should have listened from the beginning. Send a message to the humans, he said, his voice barely audible. Tell them we accept their terms. The peace negotiations took place on a neutral station at the border between human and Corvathian space. Thelnox had been removed from command by the High Council, deemed too compromised by defeat. Mira S. represented the Corvathian Dominion now, promoted to ambassador. She met with Ambassador Chen and Admiral Zhang in a simple conference room. No weapons, no guards, just 3 individuals trying to end a war. Thank you for coming, Chen said warmly. We know this is difficult. Mira S. nodded, feeling exhausted. The war had aged her. Tell me the terms. They are simple, Zhang said, sliding a data tablet across the table. The Corvathian Dominion will withdraw from all human-controlled systems. Both sides will establish a neutral zone between our territories. We will engage in trade and cultural exchange, but military vessels will require permission to cross the border. And most importantly, there will be no future aggression from either side. That is all? Mira S. asked, surprised. No reparations? No territory demands? No subjugation? Chen smiled. We do not want your worlds, Ambassador. We have plenty of space. We do not want your resources. We have more than we need. We only want security. The promise that you will not attack us again. And if we break this promise, then we will respond, Zhang said simply. But we hope it never comes to that. We would much rather be friends than enemies. Mira S. studied the humans. They seemed sincere. After months of brutal warfare, they were offering generous terms. It made no sense by Korvathian standards. The victor should dominate the defeated. Why? She asked. You won. You could demand anything. Chen leaned back in the chair. Because we understand something that perhaps your people do not. Oppression breeds resistance. Cruelty breeds hatred. If we conquer you, you will always seek revenge. Your children will fight us, and their children, and their children. The war would never truly end. Chen paused. We learned this lesson on Earth over thousands of years of conflict. Peace built on mutual respect lasts. Peace built on domination fails. Besides, Zhang added with a slight smile, we have enough territory to manage. We do not need more. We expand into empty space, not occupied worlds. There is room for everyone in the galaxy. Mira felt something shift in her understanding. These humans were not conquerors. They were survivors who had learned to build instead of destroy, to cooperate instead of dominate. I accept these terms, she said quietly, but I have questions about the others. What really happened to them? Chen nodded as if expecting this. Would you like to see? They led her to a museum on the station, a place filled with artifacts and records. Chen and Zhang walked her through history. The precursors came first, Chen explained, stopping before a display of alien technology. They were proud, ancient, powerful. They viewed us as insects infesting valuable real estate. They attempted complete extermination. The display showed images of Earth burning, cities in ruins, billions dead. We fought back with everything we had. Nuclear weapons, kinetic bombardment, chemical weapons, biological agents. It was ugly and brutal. The war lasted 60 years. What happened to them? Mira S. asked. Their civilization collapsed, Zhang said. The war cost them everything. Their economy failed. Their government fractured. Their colonies rebelled. By the end, they had lost 90% of their population. The survivors scattered. Some came to us, Chen added. We took them in. They live among us now, integrated into human society. Their descendants are human citizens. Others fled to distant galaxies, wanting nothing to do with anyone. They moved to the next display. The Harmony Collective was different. They wanted to enslave our colonies, use us as cheap labor. We refused. They blockaded our trade routes. We went around them. They attacked our ships. We defended ourselves. The images showed a 30-year conflict. Eventually, we demonstrated our ability to strike their homeworld. We sent one ship, unarmed, directly to their capital. It could have carried weapons, but did not. It was a message. We can reach you anytime we want. They surrendered? Mira S. guessed. They negotiated, Chen corrected. We agreed to mutual borders. They agreed to stop enslaving anyone. They still exist, far from our space, and we occasionally trade with them. The war taught them respect. The Velkarian display was larger, showing warriors in elaborate armor. These were true fighters, Zhang said with respect. Honorable, skilled, brave. They lasted 90 years because they understood war. But they made a calculation error. They assumed we would fight like them, with honor and measured responses. We did not. We fought to survive, and survival has no honor. Only results. Their empire fell, Chen said sadly. Not because we destroyed them, but because they destroyed themselves. The war consumed their resources, their people, their culture. At the end, their leaders faced a choice. Continue fighting until extinction or make peace. What did they choose? Both, Zhang answered. Some chose peace. They still live near us in their own territory as respected neighbors. Others chose to fight to the end. We honored their choice, but we did not stop defending ourselves. Those warriors died as they lived, fighting to the last. They showed her records of 3 other species. One had been absorbed entirely into human culture, their descendants indistinguishable from humans. One had fled the galaxy completely. One had been exterminated, their final message declaring eternal hatred for humanity. We gave them all chances, Chen said quietly. Multiple chances to choose peace. Some accepted, some refused. We remember all of them. Mira S. felt tears forming in her eyes. You are terrifying, you know that? We know, Zhang said gently. We terrify ourselves sometimes. We look at our history and see all the terrible things we have done to each other, to our world, to others. We are capable of great cruelty and great kindness. We contain multitudes, Chen smiled. But we are also capable of learning. of growing, of becoming better. Each war taught us something. Each species we met changed us. We are not the same humans who fought the precursors 800 years ago. We have evolved not biologically but culturally, morally. And we keep changing, Zhang added. Meeting your people will change us too. Your technology, your culture, your perspective. We will learn from you, as we have learned from all the others. Mira wiped her eyes. What if we choose war again in the future? Then we will fight, Chen said simply. But we hope you will choose differently. Choose cooperation. Choose mutual benefit. Choose life. Mira returned to Corvathian space with the peace treaty. The High Council debated for weeks. Some wanted to continue fighting to restore Corvathian honor. Others, wiser, saw the truth. Finally, the vote came. The Corvathian Dominion accepted peace. 50 years passed. Mira, now an elderly ambassador, watched as Corvathian and human children played together on a joint colony world. Trade between the species had enriched both civilizations. Cultural exchange had broadened perspectives. The war had become history, a lesson learned. She sat in a quiet garden thinking about the past. A young Corvathian officer approached, a student studying the war. Ambassador, may I ask a question? The young woman said. Of course. What did we learn from the war? Mira smiled. We learned that we spanned into someone else's home. We thought we were entering empty space, a mystery to be solved. We did not realize we were walking into a house where the owners had already buried everyone who broke in before us. And the humans? What did they learn? They learned that not everyone who enters their space wants war. That some species can change. That peace is possible. Mira looked at the playing children. They gave us a chance. They could have destroyed us, but they chose mercy. That is the kind of species they are. Terrifying when threatened, generous when respected. The young officer nodded thoughtfully. Do you think other species will come? Others who do not know about the humans? Mira sighed. Probably. The galaxy is large. Someone will eventually detect the silent zone and come investigating. What will happen to them? The same thing that happened to us, Mira said. The humans will try to make peace. They will offer friendship, trade, cooperation. And if those offers are refused, if violence is chosen instead, she paused, then those species will learn the same lesson we did. The hard way. Far away at the edge of human space, a monitoring station detected new signals. Another species, another fleet, another group of explorers investigating the mysterious silent zone. The human observer on duty sighed and opened a communication channel. Here we go again, she muttered, preparing the first contact protocols. In the vastness of space, humanity waited, always ready to extend a hand in friendship or a fist in defense. They had learned both from their world, and they would never forget either lesson. The galaxy would keep testing them. And humanity would keep surviving, one way or another, as they always had. Because that was what humans did best.